raining. And I'm in a steep rock slide that comes right off the face of Mount Currie. I got my backpack, and I got about, I don't know, I probably throw about 40 pounds of weight in it. Starting now with all my goodies, and I'm getting ready to go. I don't know, late July. I'm going to take off, and I'm going to be jumping in a bush plane in north central British Columbia, and I'm going to jump out, get dropped off in a remote lake with a friend of mine, and we're going to go on a nasty mission. Nasty mission for probably 2 weeks max, but we'll have an inReach thing so we can contact civilization to change any flight plans if we have to. And it's going to be pretty exciting. I know where I'm going. I just don't quite know how I'm going to get there yet once we get out of the plane. So it's going to be an adventure. And once you get to the north central, more the western half of the province, the terrain gets absolutely, it's nasty. It's so nasty. It's real unforgiving, nasty terrain, and not as much game there as the east side of what's called the Trench in the middle of British Columbia. So there's not as many game trails, so you got to do a lot of bushwhacking potentially to get up into those mountaintops. So I have to start. I've been so busy doing other things, and I really have to start my hikes now. So I'll start doing a couple hour hikes a day, every second day, relentless until it's time to go. And then I've got muscle memory from doing it for years, so I don't really overly too stressed about it. I'll be fine after the first couple days, no matter what. But for any of you out there that are curious, a lot of people ask me what I do to stay in shape or get in shape for a hunt, and I don't do all the protein stuff and all the fad stuff that all these guys, a lot of people do, the mainstream names. I just drink I drink more water than I don't. That's what we're designed to take we're designed to take water in, not juices. We're not designed to take in protein in the form of powder and shakes. Our bodies are designed to chew out food, consume it, and take the nutrients out that we need, and that's what our bodies do. Okay? You can't make your body take more nutrients out of or more vitamins out of any item. You can't make your body do that. It's going to take it, what it needs, and it's going to spit out the rest. Right? But anyway, before I go on a big tirade about that, that's what I do. I just throw my stuff in a backpack. I eat healthy no matter what. If you want to make a big difference and live a little longer and healthier, just cut out the sugar and the grains and the dairy. That's all you got to do. And drink more water than you don't. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. But I got time. I'm taking off tomorrow morning. I'm going to go to a place a few hours east of here, a remote place. I found this little creek a year ago, and it's fairly shallow, and it's hidden, and it's loaded with rainbow trout. So I'm going to bring around a half a dozen GoPros, and I'm going to glue them onto flat little river rocks, and I'm going to put them in various places on that creek bottom and film up a day in the life of a creek with trout in it. I think it'd be really, really cool to watch. And I brought a whole pile of batteries and I got some other cables I can charge batteries up in the vehicle if I have to, and then just film a bunch of stuff and get out of here and go on an escape and reset. Figures, it doesn't matter where I set up. It just takes a couple minutes. Either a low-flying plane or a helicopter comes, right? But it's raining, so anyway, we're gonna have to put up with some of this background sound. So this past week it was a little challenging with the death topic, which I shared online with everyone. And the feedback was crazy. I got so many messages and comments on various social media platforms of kindness. It is very, very appreciative. I appreciate every single kind word that I notice that I see that's sent from people, and it's overwhelming. But anyway, it's pretty impressive how many kind people are in the world as opposed to the opposite overall on average, right? It's pretty cool. But I'm going to share with you, because I know this is a topic of interest, because we're all dying. Every single one of us is dying, and not one of us has ever had the crystal clear delivery of knowledge to us of what happens after we die. Whether or not we're going to carry on and become something else, or this experience is going to carry on to a next level, and we're going to retain memory from this experience. Who knows? I haven't a clue. Because let's face it, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian, a Buddhist, a Muslim, a whatever. Everybody has different rules of where you're going to go, as long as you do what you're supposed to do in this lifetime under the written rules, and be scared, or maybe not, whatever. But let's face it, everybody, doesn't matter what religion, what faith you follow, everybody has some kind of a theme where if you do good and you do right, you end up in the glorious place after you die, because it's written, right? Fine, fair enough. I take that information in and I dissect it on my own in my own brain and try to make sense of it all. Take from what things I can where I can, just like I suggest all you to do. But let's face it, I haven't come across one human being that has specifically looked me in the eye and said, look, this is what's going to happen after you die because I did this. There isn't one human being. We are all in the unknown when it comes to this department. But there is little tidbits that come in now and then for each one of us from people that we trust with our lives, right? And I'm going to share a couple stories from a couple friends of mine, and I'm going to share a couple stories of mine of this first-hand knowledge, okay, when it comes to the topic of death. And somebody just emailed me, just caught a fresh one today, and I replied to them that they just knee-jerked me to hit this topic. So here we go. I'm going to start off with this email first, and then I'm going to share with you a few stories of my own. And then you can all babble amongst yourselves about it, take from it what you will. And I know there's many of you out there who have had experiences with death, or family members have had experiences with it, guaranteed. And if you want to share what you've got with the subscription here, with the people here, it'll probably be appreciated. Here we go. Listen to this. Dear Steve, I'll just say the first name. My name is Chris. I'm a U.S. Army veteran who served many years in helicopter medevac unit. I lived in Hawaii for over 30 years, and I've been an emergency room registered nurse here for almost 20 years. I've had many experiences throughout my life, but at the age of 15, after seeing a Sasquatch for the first time, I thought I would never have an experience that would terrify me more than that. I can relate to that. On a recent video, you stated death isn't the end, and I want to tell you you're 100% correct. In July 2018, I had a procedure for a bleeding ulcer. After being wheeled into the operating room, the last thing I remember is being told to breathe deep while they sedated me. I don't know how much time passed in the operating room before the feeling of dread came over me. Instantly, I knew I was dead. Quote, no. What the F? I'm dead? How the? That's how it's wrote. Those thoughts were happening while everything was black for a couple of seconds and ended mid-sentence when I found myself floating above my body. I was looking down at my body and I noticed I was laying there, like left in the fetal position. I then became aware of the most beautiful pale white light that had a slight yellowish tint to it and extended as far as I could see. There's no horizon to judge distance, but it was about 10 to 15 feet above my body, which I no longer had an interest in. The light was the prettiest and the most calming thing I've ever seen besides the birth of my 3 daughters. I was mesmerized. While still trying to figure out where the light was coming from, I started to come to terms with the fact that there was an end to the light which I could not find. That's when a voice that I can only describe as similar to hearing your voice in your mind. Not auditory, it's just there. It said, "This is forever." I knew immediately what that meant, and as soon as I started thinking about my daughter and how much I would miss her, I was immediately back in my body. There was a nurse anesthetist There was a nurse anesthetist at the foot of my bed who was asking me if I remembered anything during operating room procedure. Surely nobody would believe what I went through, and I told him no. He put his head down and walked off. I tried to contact him for the next 6 months with no success. Well, thanks for that email. Appreciate that. Appreciate you sharing that. And if you want, you can share your Sasquatch story another time if you want. We'll read it if you need it read with everybody. And that's interesting. Now, I've got a story that I can add to that. I got 2 that were told to me from people I trust in my life. Now, listen to this one. So, just a few years ago, I ran into an old neighbor of mine who I was neighbors with for like 10 years. Cool cowboy, straight shooting dude, total cool shit. You have a beer with him anytime. He's got your back, the handshake kind of guy. Not an extremist thinker in any different direction, just a great life-loving dude. And hadn't seen him for a couple years. I bumped into him in town. I'm like, holy shit, Merv, what are you doing? And we started talking. I had freshly actually been home for when that mosquito just about killed me a couple years ago. And I go, yeah. She goes, what are you doing? I go, shit, I nearly died. And he goes, no way. And he says, yeah, well, I did die. I'm like, what? No way. Let's go have a coffee. So we went and had a coffee. And I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his early 60s now. Not in the best shape. And just went through a divorce and all the other crap. And he said that he was feeling off. Something was feeling wrong inside his body, his chest. And something like, it's a little alarming. And so he went down to the clinic, down to the hospital in Vancouver, and they started to run him through all the tests. And this is what he told me. So he said that he was doing a stress test, apparently. All of a sudden he's having a jammer, or whatever he's having. Down he goes, okay? Down he goes. Down. He's out. And he said that all of a sudden he was up, basically hovering above the scene, looking down, and he said that he could see his body on the ground. The nurse is crapping herself, calling doctors to get in there and get going. But he said that the light almost had a yellow filter. He said it wasn't a clear vision. I couldn't see it clearly. He says there was no bright light or bright tunnel or anything like that, but he said that there was the lighting through his vision was like there was a yellowish filter over top of his eyes. So he's looking down, yellowish tint. You can see his body. He's dead. I don't recall how long he said he was dead for, but he did say that he saw the doctors come in and start working those electrode things that go in your chest and hammer you. And it's pretty wild to hear somebody that you trust with your life, forever, telling you about dying. And I said, what did it feel like? Like, was it painful? And he goes, no. And he goes, and he was just as amazed as you would be listening to him. And this is what he said, word for word. He said that the entire time he was up there looking down through that yellow filter of light, looking down at his body, he said, quote, the only way to accurately describe it is as if you're having the craziest orgasm of your entire life and it was just going on. Right? I'm like, what? No way. What'd you come back for? Right? And we started cracking jokes. We always had a good sense, a good report, good sense of humor. But that's what he said. And then he said that the doctor came in, put the things on his chest, let him have it, did feel a thing, and then he said that all of a sudden the next one, boom, he felt it, and he's back in his body and he's back. And he said, holy crap, did those things ever hurt? So there is one story from somebody who I absolutely trust in my life. And if he said that happened, it happened. So, fast forward, here's another friend of mine, very good friend, very intelligent guy, very successful dude, no bullshit kind of guy. Actually, most of the people I know are like that. I like to surround myself with the no BS types. Good people. And his father lived a full life, had 3 kids, I think. I think it's him and 2 sisters altogether. From back east in Ontario. I believe he was a university or principal, teacher, right up there in the education system. Met him a couple times in fish and chips to Barkley Sound. Great old guy. And he told me, and his sisters were successful as well. Like I'm not saying success as in financial, but I mean like they were career people. The sisters are teachers, I believe. My friend's a very successful builder, triathlon, Ironman champion, author. He's an intelligent guy. And he went on to tell me that they're all in the room, in the hospice, whatever it's called, the room where everybody passes over. His dad's laying there. His dad dies. Okay? Now, he said to me, all of a sudden, you could smell pipe tobacco in the room. All him and his siblings, they all smelt this. Boom. Dad passes. Whammo. There is this strong scent of pipe tobacco's in the room, where coincidentally his father's brother, his uncle, smoked a pipe all the time, all his life, right, his adult life. So they figure, obviously, his brother came to get him, was what they said. And then his sister says, "Oh my God, look at that," and points up to the corner of the hospital room. They look up, and here's 3 bright lights. And he had a picture of it. He took a picture of it with his iPhone. He showed it to me. And those 3 bright lights it was yellow, red for sure, and I think blue or green. I forget which of the other. It was 3 colored lights were right there in the corner of the room, right when his dad passed, and the room filled with the scent of pipe tobacco. All right, crazy. So for me, when I'm hearing these accounts, my brain's registering as, holy cow, okay, well, there is definitely 100% more to this lifetime than just being alive and dying and you're a piece of dead soulless rock after and there's nothing else, right? So for me, not just from listening to these 2 friends of mine, I don't need anybody else to tell me any differently. Now I know there is going to be something else after this, after we pass, right? So then, of course, I shared that story online, I don't know, last year about when that mosquito bit me when I was in Asia, and the doctor flat out told me I was going to be dead in 2 days. And I remember when I was getting close to the point where I'm either going to live or die, I'd already figured I was going to die. But like I said in the video, and I came about this feeling honestly for myself, was I was starting to get kind of jacked up, excited in a way, thinking, holy cow, this is going to be a crazy ride. I wonder where I'm going. Like, this is the craziest ride yet. I'm dying. Wow, this is it. This is going to be crazy. And that is my honest to goodness feelings that I had when I was 100% confident I was out of here. It's not upsetting, and that's why today, that's why I'm scared of shit. Just don't be scared of anything. As soon as you're not scared of anything, you will become successful, and successful meaning you will excel in every single thing it is that you love to do. Okay? It's only fright that holds you back with anything. But anyway, fast forward along again to recent times. I'm not saying that death is a good thing. It's obviously upsetting for every single one of us, most of us. And this recent passing of my horse, I'm going to share something with you guys about this. So this particular horse was how do you describe it? I don't know how to describe it accurately, the relationship this horse and I had. He was definitely, I don't know why, the herd mentality, they always single somebody out and pick on him. He was picked on all the time his whole life. It's really weird. He never really fought back, except when I rode him. When I rode on him, he seemed like he got 10 feet taller and he kicked ass. It was pretty cool. But anyway, we had a tight bond. It wouldn't matter where he was. He could be way across the pasture 2 feet from me. I yelled out his name at him, and he whinnied right back at me every single time. He ran to come and see me. He chased me around. I trusted my life. I had him since he was a little thing, and we were tight. Like I always said all through my life, I said, Mr. Macaroni and I, we're going to be in a Viking burial together one day. That's how it's going to end, right? And but anyway, he had to pass on. It's very, very sad. It's still killing me. How do you describe the saddest of what I feel? I feel it just really, it's very hard for me to wrap my head around that I'm never going to see him again. That's tough. That's the part that rips you up, for me anyway. It's like, what? I can feel him in my fingers. I can hear him. I can smell his breath. And it's just so bizarre that I'm not going to see him again. That's what our relationship was, okay? Now listen to this one. This is the honest to God truth. This is what happened. So, obviously, there's no way I could put a bullet in his head, and I didn't want his brain splattered all over the place from anybody. And, but he was in pain. He had to go rest. And, we drug it out with each other as long as we could. He was just shuffling on he's in a lot of pain. So the vet, she's a super sweetheart. She knows him. Everybody loves this. Everybody loved Mr. Macaroni. And I made the call for her to come and give him a lethal injection where they put him to sleep first, and then you give him the lethal injection next. And a friend of mine had his backhoe there. So anyways, all I'm saying is I didn't need to be there to see him die and get dragged and thrown in a hole. That's putting a little vulgar. I'm sure it wasn't the way I was, but that's just the way it comes out of my mouth. All right, I just didn't need to see that. We said goodbye, and I moved on. And then, so I'm at home, and I'm good. I mean, I've been messed up for a couple weeks over this, leading up to it anyway. It's not like it was sudden. And I'm getting my haircut. Sarah's getting my haircut. And I'm talking just as smooth as I am right now. And all of a sudden, mid-sentence, I lost my breath, sort of, in a way. I lost my breath. And every single hair on my body turned into wire. I mean, I've had goosebumps before, but it was unbelievable. Every single, it's like I got zapped. You know, every single hair on my body turned to absolute stiff wire. And I kind of lost my breath a little bit. And then the words blurted out of me. He just passed. He just passed. And I lost my shit. Started bawling. So anyway, and that lasted, I don't know, it's the last couple minutes, but what I'm saying is, it was and that was at 5:55 p.m. And then the vet texts me, I don't know what time, I think it was 6:45 or something. Yeah, she texted me that I'm from town, and there's no internet service where I was, no phone service. And she just texted me to say a couple kind words, and everything went smooth and peaceful. He passed on. But then it was confirmed the time that he passed. How amazing is that? So, Mr. Macaroni came to me. Whatever happened, I don't know. I can't say he came to me. I mean, he didn't come and enter my head and kick me in the head and say, you know, see you later, buddy, or anything like that. But it's just the moment that horse died, and he was about 4 miles away from me, the moment my horse, my pal, died, boom, something struck me like like I got 12 volts through my spine at the exact same moment. So I know we're probably all energy. You know, we are all made of energy without a doubt. And did his light, his energy, was it a part of me? I don't know. I haven't a clue, guys. I haven't a clue. I'm just sharing with you an experience that I recently had. And a lot of you are going to have a lot of input on this topic, without a doubt, in the comment section below. But that's what happened. All right. So those experiences there I just shared with you, mine, the two experiences from two people I trust in my life, and Mr. Macaroni, for me, 150%. There's no way this lifetime is over after we die, after we leave these meat boats. Heard a comedian refer to our bodies as meat vessels, meat boats, whatever. So there you go. That's what I got, and that's why I always urge everybody to quit being scared. Quit being scared. Quit being scared of people. Quit being scared of yourself. All right, you're your worst enemy. The second you stop being scared, you will be successful. You'll be able to do anything. All right? But first, you have to stop being scared. And it's kind of funny. I heard a quote from a very intelligent man online the other day. I was watching this documentary, and he said flat out, quote, to move a man, first you must figure out what scares him. And then he said, and once you figure out what scares a man, you can make him do anything. That gets my brain going too. But I just want to pass that quote on. Take from that quote what you will, but it makes a lot of sense, right? You can think on your own and figure, and you're into figuring stuff out. And here's another when you really start looking at like this Sasquatch topic I've been taking on for the past while. It's only shown me that we are lied to. The second you see one of these things, you know without a doubt that we are being lied to from day one. The second we leave our homes and get stuffed into that public education system, we begin our programming, and we are lied to. All right? And that's very unfortunate. But the second that you do see something like this, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on this planet that can be taken as absolutely terrifying. We can't make sense of. It's alarming. It shouldn't be. And but I will use the Sasquatch topic as one example of the numerous things that are going on in this lifetime on this planet that confuse us, that we aren't informed of. And once you see a Sasquatch as an example, you question every single thing. You question everything. Because it's, once you see one, now you know. You know for you that we are misinformed and we're lied to. And just about that, what else are we being lied to about, right? So getting to the is this it for this lifetime factor, I'm going to share with you where my brain's gone lately as I sit there trying to make sense of all the crazy shit that's going on this planet. Is I think a sad part of our reality is there's so many very intelligent people who are withholding knowledge from us. And that, to me, misleading people, masses of people, intentionally misleading fellow human beings, and intentionally withholding honest information from human beings, those two crimes are right up there with rape and murder to me. That's a very bad infraction. And I am a very firm believer that anyone who does that should be held accountable and should pay dearly. That's just me, though. But I try to make sense of people. I learn by watching people. I learn by watching people go through life. I learn from very intelligent people who share with me. I try to take in as much information as I can from very kind, good souls. And I also watch the dark, bad souls and try to figure out what motivates them and what's going on. But anyway, there you go. There is my little chit-chat on death and how I feel about death and whether or not we're going to be here. And it's also words of encouragement from me to all you to quit being scared. Don't be scared of anything. And put all the energy that you have into what you are good at and what you love to do. And be kind to people. Don't mislead them and don't lie to people. All right? Is there a hell and a heaven in the afterlife? I don't know. I am 100% firm believer. Now, I mean, there's a question in my mind that we are going to a different level, a different place after this physical lifetime's over. So knowing that, I'm pretty certain that if you went through this lifetime misleading and lying to people on a very serious level, or killing people, or stealing, or maiming people, you're probably going to be paying for it. Although, you people that do that are paying for it as they're alive today by having to be that person. So that's a living sentence as well, right? There's nothing good about that. You can't go through this lifetime having to watch behind you every step of the way you go because you just annihilated a country or a community or raped a bunch of people or stole from a earthquake-ridden country, and on and on. I'm babbling. But anyway, so that's my feelings and all that. I'm sure this is going to be a crazy topic for everybody to start going on about. And don't make it political, all right? Save the Trump, Obama bullshit for somewhere else. I'm just talking about true evil on this planet, what to be scared of, not to be scared, and just to know that, yes, there is something going on after we die from this particular lifetime.